Happy Monday, Eagles Nation. Welcome to today's edition of the Weekly Chirp. I'm your host, Stephen Hellmann, and the draft is done. The draft is done. Eagles get their guy in Carson Wentz, and we know all about him. We all know about Carson. We've been talking about him for weeks on weeks now, and we got him. We don't take a sigh of relief. The Rams took off. We got our guy, but I want to go through kind of catch everyone up to speed on the other draft picks that were made and where we really addressed offensive line, linebacker, and the defensive backs. Like, we really addressed those positions because those are positions of need that we need to develop. So we're just gonna roll through all the draft picks and give you a little insight on them, my thoughts on them, and basically what this means for us. So we didn't have a second round pick because we had traded that away for Sam Bradford. We traded away one of our third round picks to move up to get Carson Wentz. So with the one third round pick we did have, we got Isaac Samul from Oregon State. I'm going to butcher these names, by the way. These name pronunciations could be a little rough, so bear with me. He's a offensive lineman from Oregon State. Very versatile guy. He can play almost all spots of the offensive line. He's going to try and compete for a left guard spot, but they said that this guy looked pretty good, a pretty big hitter. So hopefully he'll be at least a good depth guy this year, and maybe we can develop him into either a guard or tackle. He probably won't be talented enough to play tackle, but you know what? We could develop him into a decent guard in the NFL. I think he'll be a worst case scenario, a very capable backup. Then we move on, fourth round. We didn't have anything, so in our next pick we took a Wendell Smallwood, the running back from West Virginia, at 153rd overall, and he's 5'10", 208 pounds. Pretty quick guy, kind of a pass catching bag. So maybe their thought process is an understudy to Darren Sproles this year and see what we can get from this guy. So I like the pick. This guy has a lot of upside and could be a pretty good gadget guy. Maybe to me he kind of looks like a back that Doug Peterson has used in their offense, like he kind of reminds me of like a Charkandrick West kind of guy. And he worked out really well for the Chiefs last year when Jamal Charles went down and obliterated my fantasy team right there. But I see a little bit of Charkandrick West in him, so maybe Doug will know how to use this guy. Maybe not this year, but maybe the year after Sproles' contract is played out. Next, oh God, this name right here. Offensive tackle in the 5th round at TCU. I'm going to go for it. Holla Puvalati-Vata'i. Holla Puvalati-Vata'i. That's probably not even close. But anyway, he is a tackle out of TCU. He plays right or left side of tackle. The knock on him is that he's a little small and just might not have the size or even the skills to play in the NFL. It's going to be hard for him to transition to the next level against bigger competition. But you know what? He's 5th round pick, so the guy works hard and maybe he can get in. Maybe he can be one of the backup tackles. We'll see, but and when you get towards the end of the round, you kind of just have to take some risks and hope you hit on a guy, and I think that's what the Eagles are doing as I get through to later on in these picks. Next guy, Blake Countess, DB out of Auburn. They selected him in the round 6, 196 overall. He can play corner and safety, and interestingly enough, he played his first 3 seasons at Michigan, then transferred to Auburn for his senior year, and the guy looked good, and he just seems like a very versatile guy, and in a system where we want our safeties to cover. Sometimes Malcolm Jenkins is called upon to cover the tight end, so we have a DB that can cover and play safety. Hopefully it works out. Next pick, interesting one here. Jalen Mills at LSU, set in the 7th round. We actually traded back, so we got an extra 7th round pick because we traded back and we took Blake Countess. So we had like 188th overall. We traded back with the Vikings to get their 196 and then their 7th round pick. And Jalen Mills, he fell so far because he has some character and injury issues. He got indicted for second-degree battery of a woman in 2014, but the charges were dropped, and he's had like a little bit, what did I put down here? Injury issue. I think it was like his knee. I forget what I looked up earlier, but he's looking like he's a high ceiling guy, but he could also just be a complete bust. But a 7th round pick. I have no problem with the Eagles taking these questionable character guys with a low pick, because at the end of the day, if you want to, your goal in the draft is you can get 3 guys that contribute out of a draft class. That's usually pretty good. Not all your draft picks are going to hit. It's just not how it works. So we'll see what Jalen Mills can do. I feel like he's a guy that's going to have a chip on his shoulder and want to try and prove himself. Next guy is Alex McAllister, D out of Florida. He's a little smaller, 6'6", 240, but he also has some character issues. He was suspended from the first game of the season last year, and he got actually kind of kicked out of the Florida football program towards the end of the season. But he also had an injury, so I mean the guy, who knows? I mean they kind of his build, they kind of see him as like not anywhere near the skill set, but a build like Javon Curse, where he's a little undersized but faster. But so questionable character guy who probably fell off more than he should have because of things that he's done. And then we had Joe Walker. We got a linebacker out of Oregon, so an Oregon Duck, Chip Kelly guy, and he played a lot of games there, and he's just going to compete for a backup job most likely. But you know what? This draft ultimately it all comes down to what Carson Wentz is going to do as an Eagle, not next year, but as he develops. I mean, that's what this draft was all about. It's about getting your quarterback. And I think the other guys we got, we took some risk, but we addressed the needs by position, but it's just whether or not these guys are going to pan out at all. But yeah, I mean, so now we got June until June. We pretty much that's when the next like mandatory practices are, and it's going to be interesting to see if Bradford's going to be there or not. I think so. And also speaking of Bradford, the Jets taking Christian Hackenberg. The Broncos taking Paxton Lynch. So Sam Bradford, all those trade places he was maybe going to go, he kind of just got blocked. So it looks like he's in for the long haul. So buckle up, Sam, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. I will see you on Thursday for Bird Buzz. And yeah, you guys have any draft questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll roll through them. I'm excited. With the draft's finally over, we got our guy. We can all rest easy. I was getting really nervous with the Jared Goff thing. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you on Thursday.